So we've got a fair amount of stuff going out today. And as always, I forgot to log in, I think, to the proper eBay. So we're going to get logged in on my personal eBay. We had one order going out today from that eBay. And it's a big one. We got this huge sale of $6.72, and it's a spoon. I think I got this like bundled with some knives that I picked up from Goodwill, maybe. Like the utensils, they typically charge you like a certain price for one, or if you buy like 5, you get a certain price. So I'm guessing I picked this up with like some Cutco knives would be the only reason I could think I would have picked this up. I don't even remember getting this. It could have came in a garage sale bundle with something else. But it is a vintage spoon from Androck, and the actual shipping costs more than it costs for the spoon, which isn't that rare. But we're going to throw it in a box, get it out of here. It's the one item going out on my store, and then we're going to shift over to mine and Brandon's store. Nothing too crazy needed with shipping out a spoon. It's not shifting around in there, so it will be good to go. Where did I set my pen? There it is. And pretty simple, we got a spoon. So first item is done. Let's log into mine and Brandon's store, because that's where most of the stuff is coming from. We had some pretty good sales this weekend, actually. We've got some toys, we've got some video games. We actually have a couple Zippo lighters, and we'll talk about all of those purchases. The Zippo lighters actually just happened on a live on Friday, I believe. So, and how did I log into the wrong one? So if you guys are new to me, I do have 2 different eBay stores. So we do have 2 different eBay stores. We have one that's just my eBay store. It's a personal. And then I have one that is I share with a business partner. Hey, thank you so much. You can actually find these shirts at one of my favorite websites, which is called Once Upon a Tee. I like them because they sell 2XL, 3XL tall. I like the tall shirts. How's it going, Jessup Fletcher? But yeah, great website, great artists that do their shirts. I actually have an order that's supposed to come this week that I just picked up, but you can find those links in my bio in my link tree. But it's a great website. So I have a code in my bio in the link tree if you actually want to check that out. Okay, so we are logged in to mine and Brandon's store. Again, I share a business partner, or I share a store with a business partner. Typically, I think I pay anywhere from like $15 to $20 when it comes to the tall shirts. There is a little bit of a premium because they're tall. The regular shirts, sometimes they have like $10 deals, $12 deals. But typically I pay somewhere in that 15, 20. I think they go as high as 30 as well. I try to get them when they're on sale though, but they can be a little pricey for the tall shirts. But I have a really hard time finding tall shirts of stuff that I like. Like I can go to Kohl's or I can go to Target and find tall shirts, but it's normally like beer shirts or nature shirts or something like that. But yeah, check out my bio, 51 or 515. Check out the bio, go to my link tree. It's Once Upon a Tee. Okay, so we're just going to go with the order that has to go out first, and then we'll work our way up that way. I will have to fold some boxes. I did not do that ahead of time. But the first thing that we have going out is a Nintendo 3DS XL. This sold for $150.99. And we are throwing in we have this new charger that's going with it as well. Yeah, I appreciate that, 515. Yeah, the shirts that I actually have coming in right now, sometimes they run, I think they call them collection shirts. So there'll be a similar theme or topic, and then they'll sell like, there's typically 4. So they'll sell them in like, you can buy the whole bundle, so all 4 shirts. So I've got a bundle coming, and it's all related to literature. So I have a Chronicle, so it came with Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and what was the other one? Lord of the Rings. So there's 4 different shirts. They have like a book and the characters coming out of the book. So I liked all 4 of them, so I went ahead and bought the entire 4-pack of those. I also have a Nintendo 64 shirt coming and a Ratatouille shirt that I thought was pretty cool. So again, we've got this 3DS XL going out. Sold for $150. Nice little sale. And it does come with a brand new charger. So we'll get a nice healthy layer of bubble wrap on this thing. Little packing paper in the bottom of the box always helps. I don't need to bubble wrap the charger, so we're just going to throw that in, fill the rest in with packing paper, and it should be good to go. And if you guys wouldn't do, I would like you to do this. If you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, liking this video would help out a ton. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And our next item is packed up. It's the 3DS. And again, I'm not going in order of price or anything like that. It's literally just the order of the way the sales came in. Thank God I am done with this tape. I did a test run on this tape. I did not like it. So we're going to go back to one that I do like. So this is Scotch brand tape. It is the heavy duty Scotch brand. I get this from Sam's Club. I am no longer getting this though, because I found a tape that I really like from American Bubble Boy, which is where I also get all my bubble wrap that's hanging up out here. And I really like their tape. It's cheaper than the stuff I can get from Sam's Club, and it's just as good. But in a pinch, if you need good tape, I really like the Scotch brand from Sam's Club. I like the heavy duty tape. And I pulled off way too big of a sheet, but that's fine. We'll just wrap it around the whole thing here. So this was a 3DS. Okay, moving on to our next item here. This one is kind of interesting. So I sold these 2 coin sets. So we have the Bradford Exchange. This one is the 80th anniversary of victory in World War II. These are not actually gold. They're gold plated. So if you're not familiar with like precious metals, you can either get gold or gold plated. Gold plated literally means it's a different material. A lot of time it's copper or nickel, and then they just plate the gold on the outside. There's not enough gold on the plating to be really worth anything. And the same thing with silver. So if you have silver plated stuff, it's really not worth anything for the silver value. But I have these 2 coin sets, and the buyer requested that if they purchased both sets, they did not want the wooden boxes. So I made sure that multiple times throughout the messages, they clarified they did not want the wooden boxes. They wanted to save on the shipping a little bit. So we're going to remove all of these coins. They did want the certificates of authenticity, so we'll leave those with them. But we will remove these from the boxes. And these should all fit in an 8x6x4 box. But yeah, if anybody requests like to not include something with your package, I just make sure that if I get something like that, I make it very clear in the messages, this is what they want. That way, if for some reason they tried to open up like an item not as described, I would have documentation from them that they requested it. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take 2 pieces of bubble wrap to create a bottom layer. And then with these coins, the way these cases work, you just push on the front right there and then it pops it up. And this one's actually kind of cool. So they're World War II bombers. So each set has 8. These actually came into the gold and silver shop that we partner with, where we sell all of our video games. And basically, Adam, the one that owns the shop, didn't really want them because they're not real silver, and that's what most people are going to for him. But some of them still had decent sell-through rates on eBay. It's not like they are flying as soon as you list them or anything, but they have a decent return if you can price them for a whole set in that $30 to $50 range. We did sell a couple that were a little more expensive in the $100 range. One was a Star Trek set, and we have a Larry Bird set that's listed pretty high as well. Okay. So again, they did not want the box. They did clarify they did want to make sure that the certificate was there, which is expected. So we'll just put both certificates. And then we'll layer, again, these are not real gold. It's just gold plated, 24 karat gold plated, which really doesn't carry any value. It's kind of like the Pokemon cards that are, I think it's 23 karat plated. People buy them because they're Pokemon, but the actual gold value really doesn't carry any value. Okay, we got that in there. We're going to put one more layer of bubble wrap on the top here, and then we'll fill in the rest with packing paper. And this will definitely be way cheaper to ship it to him. And then once we get it, the label and everything bought, we'll refund him the difference in the shipping costs. And I think we also did 10% since he bought 2 different sets. So he got 10% off with combined shipping. And as you can see, now we're shipping a box like this instead of trying to fit 2 of these in a box. So it's quite a bit smaller. It'll ship for cheaper. It's lighter and not as bulky. Let's get a drink here, and we will move on to our next item. Next item we have going out is a copy of Pokemon Omega Ruby. I was not prepared, but I went and grabbed these. Now I need my knife. So the way I like to send my DS and 3DS stuff out, I like to put it in a bubble mailer. And since these aren't like super cheap games, both of them are around that $30 mark, I do like to add just a little piece of cardboard with it, just to give it some extra protection. It's not anything crazy. I just put 1 layer of bubble wrap with it. So I'll take that piece of cardboard, put it in the bubble mailer like so, and then we'll put it directly in. And it just gives it a little bit of a backing to help out with the shipping process. And Omega Ruby sold for $32.99. I honestly don't remember where we got this. This may have walked into our shop. So if it came to the shop, we probably paid somewhere in that 30 to 50% range for it. So we probably got, you know, somewhere in between $10 to $15 invested into this. Typically, when video games come to the shop, that's what we're aiming for, is 30 to 50%. If it's a really good game and it walks into the shop, we'll pay up a little more for it. But we have to have some room after fees and to make some profit on it too. Next item we have, again, another $30 game. Actually, I think Pokemon was like $32. This one sold for $29.99. It is Sonic Rush Adventure. Again, we're going to just cut a little piece of cardboard to go with it, just to give it a little bit of extra protection. Put it right into a bubble mailer. And tape it up. And we have Sonic is done. The good thing about my shipping today, it was actually pretty easy stuff. It's all able to fit in like an 8x6x4 box, or my next size, which I think is a 10x8x6. But everything can fit in those boxes today, which makes the shipping day pretty nice and easy. Okay, next item. This one actually surprised me. I didn't list this, Brandon did, and I didn't think it would sell for as good. But it's a Pokemon game, but it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. These, like, they're not knockoff, but they're like, you know, branches off the main games. They don't normally sell that great, but this one, for some reason, was actually pretty valuable. It sold for $90. So if you're looking at Pokemon games, you can normally be safe buying them if you can get them cheap. But this is one you can actually pay up for a little bit. And it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. For some reason, $90 game. I'm not going to throw that into bubble mailer, so I'm going to go grab a small box. This box has been sitting on a shelf for quite some time, so it got a little dusty. So we're just going to wipe it down a little bit. These boxes have been pretty nice for really small items. My wife's family owns a golf course. It's her grandpa owns a golf course, and he saves these boxes for me sometimes. So if you play golf, you would know these when basically this has like 4 boxes of 3 balls each. So most golf courses, they'll sell them some like this, and then they'll pull them out and they'll sell just the sleeve as well. So when they pull them out, he gives me these boxes. They work great for really small items, which is perfect for this little DS game. Because even though that would easily fit into a bubble mailer, it's a $90 game. So I want to make sure that we do everything we can to package this up as nice as we can. We're going to rip some of this because it's not wanting to fit inside. So we're just going to shorten it up a little bit. And now we have a perfect fit. We're just going to add a little packing paper so it doesn't slide around. Actually, we'll just throw this piece of bubble wrap in there as well. And now we just got to tape that up. That is the one negative about using these boxes. You pretty much have to go around and tape the whole edge, because it's not a box that was designed to be shipped. It's a box literally designed to just sit on a shelf in a store. Got the creepy chain swinging in the back. Okay. It's not shifting around in the inside, so that one's good to go as well. And we are moving right along. I love when the shipping is so easy. It just makes everything go smoothly. Okay, we have I think it's this one. This, if you've been trying to stay with my lives, I've been going live from the gold and silver shop. And this purchase came in on Friday. So a guy brought in 100 Zippo lighters. About, I would say 80 to 85 of them were brand new. And you can tell a Zippo is new, if you're not familiar, by the orange sticker. So they put the orange stickers on the back of these. It's just like a sticker seal. So if you see that orange sticker and it's closed shut, that means it's never been used. So we had 100 of these guys walk into the store. This guy had tried to sell these Zippos on Facebook Marketplace. At one point, he wanted $2,000 for all of them. Then he lowered it to like 1,000, I don't even remember, 1,500 or something like that. And then he basically got tired of nobody wanting to buy them. So he brought them into our shop. We like to stay around $5 for a Zippo. That's what we can find them at garage sales typically. So we bought 100 Zippos and we actually ended up paying $6 a piece. So $600, he unloaded them all to us, and we've sold a few of them so far. So this first one was the Chevy Emblem. Again, our buy cost is $6. And we sold this one for $19.99. So $6 into $19.99 is a nice little turn. I think the most expensive Zippo that we've listed so far has been $75, and we actually had an offer on that one for $50. But that's been the high end of what we've listed so far, and we've listed quite a few of these. This is not going to need bubble wrap. I'm just going to put some packing paper in, and it should be good to go. I actually could use a smaller box, but this is like the smallest one that I carry a bunch of, so that's really all I have. Like I said, we've actually, I sold 3. Brandon took some home and listed some, and he sold a couple more, so I don't have those here to ship. We have a pretty unique way of doing it. If we list it at the shop, sometimes we take it home or leave it at the shop. If we list it at the storage unit, we leave it at the storage unit. If he lifts at his house, he leaves it there. And if I ship here, I leave it here. So we normally have so we have 4 different ways that we store our inventory after we list it, kind of depending on where we do the listing. We're hoping to make that way more efficient if we can get a larger spot and condense everything into one location. Okay, so there's the Chevy Zippo. Next item we have is another Zippo. It is this one. This one was new, but it did not have a box. Again, our buy cost is $6. There was a whole set of these that had like turquoise and kind of Native American theme. This one sold for $29.99. $29.99. So $6 into $29.99. We're moving our way back to the profit on those. Whenever you list a bunch of one type of item, obviously you'll sell a few pretty quickly. but then you're going to sit on a lot of them for a while. So that's what we're probably going to do. We've sold like 6 or 7 Zippos, and then, you know, the other 50 to 70 that we're listing, we're going to sit on those probably for a little while. Come on, paper. Into the box, give it this little shake test. Let's call this one Turquoise Zippo. And it is good to go as well. Moving right along here. Surprise, surprise, this is the last Zippo, but we did have one more that's going out from me. And this is a Harley Davidson Las Vegas gold tone Zippo. Again, just in case people are coming in and out, our buy cost on the Zippos are $6 a piece. So we sold this Zippo for $34.99. $34.99. And that's the last Zippo that I have going out today. The good thing about the Zippos is they're super easy to list and they're easy to ship as well. Little paper on the bottom, a little on top, tape it up. Throw a label on it, and that's all you got to do. This one was the Harley Zippo. Okay, next item came from a friend of ours. And this is a good lesson on why you should have other friends that do reselling. Because not everyone looks for the same type of stuff. We actually know quite a few different resellers that only deal with clothing. That's like their main thing. They don't branch off onto other categories very often. And this particular friend of ours is one of those that deals with clothing. But he also knows when some things are a good deal. And he picked up, I think there was 6 of these. They're Mego, M-E-G-O, which is a great brand to look out for. They're Mego Dukes of Hazzard figures. He got these for a really good steal at a estate sale, I think is what he told me. He reached out and said, hey, I don't really deal with toys. Do you guys want to buy these off of us? And we did. I think we paid somewhere around the $200 mark for all of them. And we only have a couple left. And this one is Luke Duke. And I'll show you the other one. We'll just kind of package them up. Different buyers, but this one's Roscoe Coltrane. So we sold both of those. Roscoe sold for $100. And a different buyer bought Luke Duke for $64.99. So we've been in the profit after our first couple sales on these. So these are just pure profit at this point. So we'll go ahead and ship out Roscoe first. So we're going to put this in a layer of bubble wrap. And then we're going to put it into this 10 by 8 by 6 box. We're going to sit it flat with the bottom, and then we'll put packing paper on top. Do the shake test. It's not shifting. That little noise you heard is just the figure inside shifting within the package, which you can't help. Okay, so the first one was Roscoe. Then let's fold this box up. And thank you to everybody that's hanging out with me today. Anytime you guys ever have questions about my reselling business, content creation, sourcing, feel free to ask those questions. Anytime that you guys are able to interact within these lives, it just makes these move a little more smoothly, gives me something to discuss as we're talking about what we're shipping. Okay. Next item, we've got this Luke Duke. One of them that we still have listed is the most expensive figure, which is Uncle Jesse. Again, we're going to put this directly on the bottom with packing paper on top. And Luke Duke is done. Okay. Next item we have came from a Pokemon purchase that also came into the shop. This one is a Japanese card. It is Jasmine's Raichu. We actually had two of these. We already sold the other one. This one sold for full asking price, which is $19.99. The good thing about it going at $19.99 is we can ship this through the standard envelope. So the way I do these is I make sure that the card is actually facing down within the bubble mailer. That way, if the card slips out of the inner sleeve, it's not going to hit the tape that I'm going to put on this. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape. We're going to tape down the top loader. And with the standard envelope, you cannot put it in something big and bulky. So you literally just put it into a normal envelope. You can't add extra packing material. And the whole thing about this is it has to be cheap card. So it has to be a $20 or less card. So it goes straight in like so. I tape it. And then you print a label that is trackable. And it only costs like $1. I always forget the price. $1.40 or something. I don't even know what it is. But it's a good way to ship cheap cards. People don't want to spend $20 on one card and then spend $7 to ship it. So this allows them to get some decent cards for only a dollar something shipping. And we do have a second one going right after it, which again, this one sold for $19.99. It's just Pikachu, but it's a special one. It's a promo card, I guess. So again, I make sure it's going down in the top loader. That way I can tape it without fear of accidentally damaging the card if it were to slip out of the inner sleeve. And this going standard envelope, I literally have to put it into an envelope. I tried to do a standard envelope with shipping out these little bubble mailers. They actually fit a card perfectly. But they were getting rejected by my local post office and being sent back to me. They said that they were too thick. So now I just ship them like this, and I haven't had any issues yet. This is Pikachu. And as I'm looking around, I think that's the end. We sold other stuff, but I don't have it here. We actually sold a $200 Jurassic Park dinosaur that I'm going to go pick up from the storage unit today, and we'll get that shipped out tomorrow. So if you want to see that one, check back in tomorrow or watch the video once it's already published. But that's all I got for you guys. So if you guys enjoyed watching the video, do me a huge favor. Drop another comment. Like this video. That's a huge help for these things. And if there's no other comments, then I'll probably head out of here. I've got to go pick up something and then do some work while I'm in town. So this has been Retro Rewinder. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you next time.